I've been running around in circles, trying to find you, it's feeling eternal. I don't wanna live like this. My life feels empty, you're what I miss. I'm standing here all alone, waiting for someone to make me feel at home. I've been craving for somebody to hold me. Trying hard to set myself away from you. Oh, moving on from what we had, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, all the emptiness is gone without you. Circles are outrun. Every single step I'm taking guides my way to the sun. Standing here on my own, someone else than you used to know. I'm not craving for somebody to
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Ember Agency. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy, official, successful week one. Welcome in. Happy to see you guys joined here tonight. As always, I've got Batman, I've got Crypto Stu, and I've got JR here with us, joining for this week one Ember Agency Ember token update. Very, very happy to have you guys back, and very happy to be able to say that we are still succeeding, still thriving, and still pushing forward in the space. 1 week down, lifetime to go. So welcome, guys. Welcome back. Thank you all, first and foremost, to everybody in the community, to David and the whole Blockstar team for ensuring that we are continuing to get reflections back to you guys properly, ensuring security, ensuring trust in the community, and the incredible support and push from our social media and marketing team. Want to get that out there first and foremost because the social media and marketing team, led by JR, pushed by our entire team, has been absolutely phenomenal. Getting the word out there, hitting the streets, and getting all the information out that everyone's looking for regarding Ember Token and how everything's going. So the way we're going to start off tonight is obviously we want to look at week one. We want to do some analysis of where were we, what did we intend to accomplish, and what have we accomplished into week one. So first thing I want to do here, just a quick little heads up. Let's take a look at the chart. If you guys are curious, you can go to embertoken.io/dashboard for your own personal Ember token dashboard. That's what we're looking at right here. As you can see, we're up, and just continuing to grow. Obviously, as with every chart, it is healthy to see those dips. What you want to see after that dip is continued long-term sustainable growth. And that's what we're continuing to see over this first week. Yes, there are dips. Yes, there are sells. You have your day traders, you have your short-term investors. That's going to happen. But the hold is strong in Ember. The belief and the core value and the true intrinsic value of not only Ember Token, but what Ember Agency is building shows right there in that chart. It is long-term sustainable growth that just is going to continue into the future. And to touch on where we're going with week one, I want to open it up to JR first, and then obviously Batman and Stu, your thoughts as well coming in, and what we're looking at here. So JR, over to you first, sir.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful week. We have been very hard at work. As you can see, we've had a successful launch and a lot of community support and a lot of humbleness that I think's kind of flowed through this community. I actually wrote a kind of week one wrap up to my team and posted it in our management software, our collaboration software, and I'll just kind of quickly go through some bullet points that I think, especially in the current time right now, need to be stated. One, we had a very successful launch, and that was our number one goal. We grew our team out of desire before we grew it out of demand. In other words, a lot of our extended team, our mods, our social media marketers, etc. A lot of these guys came from Coyote, and they understood how hard it was on Matt and I when everything happened, and they followed us here. They've supported us and showed a lot of interest in wanting to be a part of it and help spread the message so that the things we went through don't happen to other people in the space. Building that level of that detail of a message is not easy, right? You know, you got all kinds of different ways people can get hacked, internal, external, exploits, rug pulls. I mean, it's all over the place. And I think I'm really proud that our team is expanded as fast as it has because they see the value that we're bringing to the market and to the space to try to drive some goodness here. And we've had a lot of growth. Obviously, the chart looks healthy, and I think slowly the people who took what was left of that Coyote refund that had been sent out and put it into this, are seeing a lot of upside right now. And those that didn't or haven't, we obviously have a recovery fund, which is what we're proud to say is growing steadily. And look forward to providing some details about that later this next week. Our community is growing with really good communication, governance, problem solving, and just really ensuring that we have a really strong brand reputation out there. I want to be abundantly and unapologetically clear about one thing right now. Matt and I came from a very broken project, and we'll get into the fun stuff in a minute. But there's some chatter out on the interwebs trying to tie us to the bad things that happened in the previous project. And I want to be very clear for any new listeners. We were victims of that too, and bad things happen, and it hurt us. It hurt us bad, and we said we're not going to give up. We built Ember, and we said we're going to get this money back for all these people. So I hope some of you out there who are trying to pin us as bad actors hear that from my mouth to your ears, very boldly, very boldly. And you can ask any of the loved ones in my life what we went through, and I'll be glad to put them on a hot mic, and they'll tell you how hard this was on me and Matt to do. But we stuck by it, we stuck with it, and we launched. And if you have any questions, you can email us, and I'm sure our attorney will be happy to respond. With that said, let's get into some fun stuff. We are marketing like crazy. We are marketing like crazy. We did not want to shill our project due to the events that happened, due to the people that we were trying to speak to. And it wasn't going to be a good look because we were a part of that project. We just weren't a part of that side of the project. And it felt tacky. And we said, hey, we're just going to start this simple, small, and you guys wouldn't let us do that. Y'all still blew it up. We had a great pre-sale, as you all know. We launched last week, and we've had a tremendous amount of growth already. So I just want to thank you all who know the real me and the real Matt and the real team behind this, who know why we're doing this. And thank you for your encouragement and for sticking by us. Our focus over the next few weeks with marketing is going to really be putting out there. I think it's important, again, given the recent discussion out there about who we are and what we do and why it matters. A lot of projects in the space just don't do that, and I think it's imperative that we boldly, again, and unapologetically put that out there. So, any questions? Hop in Telegram. We'd love to discuss it with you. Pop questions in chat about where we're going, where we've been, and anything related to both. So we have been blowing up Reddit, letting people know about the good we're trying to bring. We have been blowing up Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. So just please go out, look for us, and give us some support. We have a big team behind this that's pushing this. A lot of these guys and gals are doing this on their own time, and I just want to extend the deepest amount of gratitude to them. And I'm sure Matt would like to say something as well. I'll get off my soapbox.
Thank you, John. Yeah, Matt, over to you, sir.
Yeah, so first week, it's been absolutely mind-boggling. We were at, a little bit over 3 mil market cap on Friday, and I had to go on a camp out yesterday. And I was so confident in everybody. I said, I'll see y'all on Sunday to celebrate the 4 mil. And y'all hit it without me on Saturday. So I didn't even get to party with you guys. Come on. But no, it's been awesome. Just seeing the community support, seeing the growth, like every day, we're getting DMs. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Like my stuff is already like blown up crazy. Like it's already worth more than what I put in originally. Like just lots of really great stuff. Our recovery fund is currently over 28 BNB, which is just a little bit over $7,800 right now. And that's in 1 week. So it's going to take a little bit, but it'll get there. And we're looking forward to making everybody whole. So thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. And Stu, one thing I want to talk about here, obviously we're talking week 1 analysis. The best thing we can talk about analysis is the chart, especially from your standpoint, being in the space and being an advisor on the project with us. It's really mind blowing to see your reactions, not only, in public TG and everything, but private DMs between, yourself and me. And we sit there and we're just sitting here going, all right, I remember day 2 and day 3, Stu and I were up at like 3 a.m, messaging each other going, all right, so yeah, we should probably see the correction here a couple hours later. All right, so we should be seeing a correction here a couple days later. Well, I guess we're going to see a correction. And I mean, yeah, there were definitely some small corrections, but every time we see the correction here, we see the counter correction. And Stu, I really want to hear from you. What is your analysis on this? It's been wild to see, man. So yeah, give us some
Ye
insight from your side.
yeah, absolutely. Because normally, I mean, you see a project going post-launch and you see a 60, 70, 80% correction, which is almost guaranteed of that's just how it works post-launch. Because at the end of the day, we are here to make money and people sell, so they have the money. It's no longer magical crypto money. It's real money. You have to sell the thing to actually have the value in it. And we've now seen 20% corrections. And that is one's it happens twice, maybe a coincidence. Three times is turning into a bit of a trend there. We saw that at the end of day one. We saw that late day two. I know Hobbs that you're talking to, but the 20% corrections really goes into the percentage of holders that are one to get hold of where they are, and now they're starting a run. The amount of sales we have seen people taking profits, good for them, fantastic. But not having a large correction, one over the first couple of 72 hours, that was a lot of that was with the LP dealing, being able to layer in additional LP to support the chart. And now we're getting into true user and holder base. I personally haven't seen a coin go post launch that hasn't had that larger than 50% correction at any point. That's just with my history, especially being in the microcap space. I know I've had a lot of conversations with David and team over there as well. That's it's a little bit crazy, but I'm starting to enjoy it. At first it makes me very tense because you kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop. And I think actually that was this morning. We actually had a pretty big sell off of it's couple I think about $20,000 sold off in about 15-30 minutes there, and then those buys started to recorrect and resupport going right through it. So the recurring 20% corrections, as much as like that is absolutely fantastic, and really how stable that holding community really is. That's what I know. We've looked at it, and if we were doing some quick math, it's almost like 70% of the supply isn't even there because it's buy, sit, see you guys later. Which is huge from the name of the game, staying away from sell pressure. If you can stay away from sell pressure, good things happen in the charts. People will take profits, and then more money just rolls back in. And I think every correction that we've seen, it's almost been the chatter in Telegram across, not from the team, but from the community of people just have more money standing by too, expecting that correction to happen.
Yeah, and that's you
It just
mentioned
doesn't
that.
happen.
That's wild because that's something that popped into my head that I was hoping we were gonna touch on. Like we've seen people in the community go, "Yeah, I'm just chilling right now. I'm just gonna hold this. I'm just gonna wait," because they're expecting someone to make a run on it, and then they're ready to literally just pump it right back up to keep us sustained and growing. Which in a space that is, and this is not a dig at anyone in crypto, this is just blatant fact, you see it in a space that is predominantly me, it is not a team environment in crypto. It's really not. It hasn't been a thing. So to see that family or team camaraderie behind the token already is, that's what's mind blowing to me, is you're looking at people who are approaching this going, yeah, I want to see the entire project, not just me personally, succeed. And that to me is wild. Like that speaks volumes to where the team is going, and where the entire agency and token can go, because it it it's almost taboo to say it, but I don't see a downside with this core community. It's been truly incredible.
Yeah.
One thing, Stu, that I do want to touch on, because a couple, it is one of the bigger things that people are looking at, is the recovery wallet. And so, can you get into the math a little bit on the recovery wallet and how that's growing, and what comes from each transaction to continue to fund that recovery wallet? Because
Yep, absolutely. So I know that the question just got dropped in there. That is
yeah,
not going off of total market cap. That's actually that's the transactional tax. So we do not have, and that's how the math works with supply, demand, and ratio, going off of what creates the actual U.S. dollar value of the chart. Um, just like if BNB triples, we don't have 3x on volume, but that's the value is being adjusted there. So the recovery tax is that tax of the portion. I know we've looked at BSC scan when we see the routing and there's 4 groupings of BNB being scraped from the router. That's where the actual recovery fund is being funded by. This is not going off of the value of the tokens, the actual volume coming in, and that's how taxes are taken off. So the value of coin you hold is not always necessarily the one-to-one of the transactional amount that's happened. So that's really the transactional tax, and on every transaction you can see there. If you bought for one BNB, you will see that 10% being redistributed across the 4 tax wallets.
Perfect. Appreciate you, Stu. Thank you, bud. Now, a big thing that you touched on a little bit, JR, that is obviously one of the most vital factors to the growth of the token moving forward is marketing. And like, you know, you and I both spoke to, our social media and marketing team has been off the charts with, I mean, it makes our chart look like shit with how hard they've been working. They've nonstop their own sweat, blood, time, energy going into it nonstop. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. I mean, they're absolutely everywhere. But I think the big thing here is, where do we go from here to continue marketing ourselves beyond what we have now to continue to grow the name and continue to grow the brand? What do you have in mind for us?
Yeah, no, it's a great great discussion point. So, you know, marketing is subjective, right? You know, people look at a brand, they look at a promise, they look at a commitment, they look at, you know, an NFT, you know, differently, right? And so, no matter how you look at this space, it all ends up kind of looking the same after a while. And that's one thing we're committed to, is just breaking those boundaries and kind of breaching into other areas. It can be toxic on social media. Wink wink. And you know, there's just it's so easy to be defamed, and it's so easy um to have a false reputation, especially in a new project, because you haven't had time, you haven't had that ability to go out and show you are who you say you are. I think the foundation behind what we're trying to do obviously is our community. And yes, it's very, very, you know, intimate right now, and it's growing by the day. We're thankful for that. But I think everybody in here in this community that came from the last project and that is looking forward to the new things that we're going to be bringing to the table is equally as passionate about it as I am. For instance, we put together, as you guys know, and we've talked about on previous AMAs, a bunch of hand-drawn NFTs. And Matt will tell you, but I'll go and say it, that, you know, I had a feeling, hey, you know, people are already down on their, you know, their market. We're in a bear market. They're down on their BNB. They're probably not going to sell, and that's okay. We just want the visual out there so that at least people can see the authenticity behind, you know, what they look like, and then we communicate the value of them, right? We put, I think I had 21 or 22 that I had time through, you know, the course of our pre-launch. I have about, as I've mentioned, about 120 hours designing those, thinking they're going to kind of sit for a while. We have 6 left. And it was knowing these were going to, you know, friends and family to us now, and people that just, they picked that one that spoke to them and they wanted it that bad. That was awesome. It was really, really humbling. So, you know, that is a big part of our strategy, is putting product, you know, visuals, NFTs out there that people can get value from, not just a nice thing to look at in their wallet. So we, part of our marketing going ahead, you know, moving forward rather, is going to be more NFTs. You know, that's on my list to do. We've got 3 different levels, as we talked about. Happy to get into that later. But I have I have a laundry list of requests for custom ones and things like that. It's very humbling. Appreciate the energy behind it, guys. Outside of our own internal art and our own internal, you know, marketing plans and social media, 2 other commitments that we're looking to put out there are, 1, to educate people about crypto and humanize it, right? We want to bring people to it and help, you know, help breach that barrier and pull that wall down a little bit. In my opinion, the best way to do that is to find others who are just as passionate about this industry as we are. And we've already started having those conversations. We are taking a field trip next Thursday to go speak with a motorsports professional who is in our network. and is very passionate about crypto. Can't reveal any info right now, but he's very passionate about crypto, and he has watched our growth, and he has watched the goodness we're trying to do here, and he said, this is something I can get behind. And I get to go meet with the team, get to go out there, we get to go meet his race team, and uh, and have a lot of good conversations. So very, very excited about that. Beyond that, putting crypto out in the lifestyle of the day to day, food, drinks, toys, anything like that, is really going to be next week, next 2 weeks, really are going to be the core building blocks of getting that foundation set, right? Making sure that we are reaching a wide demographic while going outside traditional marketing bounds of the digital age, right? Again, don't want to spoil too much. We're going to be releasing a lot of it on social media, so please go like, follow, share, comment, etc. You get to see the cool stuff that we're going to do. And look forward to rolling a lot of it out. You will see a lot more posts from us. Again, talking about who we are and what we do and why it matters. Not just to you and not just to our community, but for people who have not made it here. We have a commitment to educate people about, bring new people to crypto, help correct bad behaviors of people that are already in crypto by showing them that this can be a long-term thing. It doesn't have to be a pump and dump scheme. It doesn't have to be this race to the moon, right? That's why we have advisors. That's why we have the community we have, who we have a 90% hold rate. Take notes, people. This is we're proof in the pudding that if you I guess ethically whale, as we've called it, if you listen to people who have been in this space a long time, like David and Stu, that's why we have them. And those resources are available to our community through Telegram, through social media, etc. So please embrace those. Come into Telegram, and you'll get some sneak peeks as to some of the stuff we're doing in the forthcoming weeks.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, and I'm going to throw them up here on the screen while you're talking about them, is the next step for the NFTs. Obviously, you brought up that we have 6 of our level 3s left, which is wild to think that there's already been that much support and interest in our level 3 NFTs. Now, that being said, when we're out of level 3s, when MB and friends, I think is the next question. So let me go ahead and throw the NFTs up here, and I'll be scrolling through some of the level 3s to give people an idea of the work that you've already completed, and then while we listen to you talk a little bit more about what's coming up for the NFTs. Take it away, bud.
Awesome. So let's see. I came up with Ember. I wanted a character. From the previous project we had Adventures of Yodi, and that was a fun kind of hand-drawn child-looking character, and everybody wanted me to kind of bring that forward into this. I was like, I just don't. That needs to live on its own. That was there, and it kind of needed to die with that project, unfortunately. So I was like, well, how do we come up with something that's playful? You see our graphics, you see our brand, you see the professionalism that we bring to the table, our governance, our advisors, everything. You get to see that sharpness and that, just that dapper side of crypto that we're trying to bring, just the suave side, right? Good clean code, good graphics, good marketing, good advisory. How do we soften that up for people who are just getting in, or people who want to see a more creative side? They get, okay, you guys are good, you're good at what you do, you have a long-term growth strategy, and you're looking to help rugged projects and so on and so forth. Let's see some fun. Like, it doesn't all have to be numbers and charts. No offense, Stu. It doesn't all have to be numbers and charts. I think there's a lot of people that crave that, and there's a lot of people that crave visuals. I kind of find myself in the middle, and I've learned a lot through this process. So part of those visuals is creating MB. So I created a character. He is a little Ember. He's a little charcoal, and if you will, and I think the personality behind it is just that he is a little mischievous unintentionally. He's got a wide variety of friends that, when they get together, sometimes things don't go the right way. Sometimes they do. And don't want that to reflect on Ember as a company. Obviously, we want to be playful and show what happens when MB invites his friends to cook s'mores. Well, you can imagine it gets a little interesting. One of his newest friends is going to be Block, and that is the representative of Block Syndicate. And I know Stu is pretty excited about that one. And Ambient Block are gonna just they're the friends that just go around and they're curious and they're punching buttons. And Stu has a whole vision of where Block and MB are gonna go. Those kind of collaborations, the storytelling piece of it will be part of our level 2. Different facial expressions, almost emoticons or emojis, if you will, of MB are going to be the level 1s. We're making them very affordable, roughly about $25 to $75, just to get you in the door. If you've always kind of want to hold an NFT but couldn't justify spending 4 figures or even high 3 figures or 5 figures on one, this is a great way to get in. It will give you access to our future lottery. And we'll do for the community as we grow. It does not give you access to our rewards pool. The level 2 and level 3s are the only ones that do that, but it's a great entry level. And we've talked, internally about maybe doing a grouping. So if got the whole individual friends set, that might equate to the same as getting a level 2, but just allows you to kind of stair step your way into it. So we want this to be adoptable. We want it to be digested well, by the community, where they're like, hey, I'm not going to go and drop this, but I will start here. And every one of them, that's where me and Matt get to work together. And I'll let him speak to the technology side of this. But when we generate MB, yes, he's hand drawn, but that's where Matt takes his experience in dev. He's created a really unique 100% custom algorithm that goes and creates these NFTs with the different colors and backgrounds and facial expressions and traits or accessories. So if Matt, you want to speak to kind of how that works and what that outcome looks like and quantities, I'd love to have you kind of shine some light on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that I built the beginning of this year for another thing that John and I were working on. And it takes like multiple layers of SVGs, and it can completely randomize any hex code or any particular portion of hex codes, like whatever colors we want. Like it could be like anything between like these 5, or it can be all the way up to like these million different colors. And then it does it for every single layer, and then it just generates it. I can do every half second, every second. And then there's a service that we use that can take a screenshot and download it. So like within, I don't know how many seconds are in a day, whatever that is, I can make that many NFTs per day that are completely 100% unique and random. And the more layers you throw in there, the more unique they could be. So it's just it's another thing that we offer it's really cool. JR's gotten really good at kind of figuring out how to make those work that way. And so that's definitely going to be along the lines of our tier 1-ish NFTs we're going to be giving out. And I don't want to speak too much to what those are going to be for. I'll kick JR, whoever else to talk about that.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna have Stu speak to kind of the reward side that we have in just a second. But also want to thank our team who's helped me come up, and our communities come up with some of the concepts for the level 2s. Like I've got to get the level 1s done first. But once those are done and those individual characters are made, we're going to create all these fun scenes and environments and stories. Think about what that could do for educating your kids on crypto, keeping it family friendly, creating coloring books, plush dolls, things like that. Like we really want to be a bright light in the space. And there's no better time to start in the DeFi space than yesterday. And the turning art and turning creativity into something that could benefit your child or even you long term, I think is where the technology and the economic side comes into play. And that's really where we leaned in on Stu. And I'd love to have him kind of touch on how holding our NFTs will benefit you as an Ember token holder.
Yeah, and also, Stu, while we're there, if you want to talk a little bit about what we're looking at going forward for reflections, and where we're sitting with the reflections and what everybody can be looking at for the update and the release on those.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I know the NFT conversation is a big one, so I do want to come back to that. I saw a question in there about the management and dispersal of reflections. And if you notice, David Hunter is highly active in here tonight because he is the key holder for reflections dispersal currently. David has built out essentially a dashboard within Blockstar for the Ember agency as a whole to manage LP, key reflections, whitelisted wallets for if there ever anything internal teams they don't get reflections. So it is currently a manual process, and the reason for that is that as the tax is currently being taken out in BNB, I know we've posted a couple times in Telegram of that contract wallet when it receives when it gets over one BNB, it goes and actually adds it has a purchase of Ember. So we are not stripping Ember from the individual transactions. So what we're doing, it's stashing in BNB, makes a recurring purchase. So that's why currently it's a manual process, but it's through all the Blockstar controlled in the portal for the API. So that will be automated on a recurring basis. But for stay away from gas fees, being able to manage this much more safely from a contract perspective, that's why it's a current process, currently a manual process, and sometimes we need a little bit of social interaction to disperse those reflections. So for all the people in here, that's why David is sitting and trolling me continuously to sing. I don't need to sing. I know he presses the button, so he's not gonna get me on the first Twitch stream he comes in here as a viewer. I can't set that precedence of David Wayne Hunter.
To be fair, I'm a Little Teapot is actually a copyrighted song. So these go on YouTube. So Stu physically cannot sing that
Yeah,
for us to put those on YouTube. So now, chat, if you want reflections, yell at David down there in the chat because Stu physically can't do that if we continue to post these on YouTube. But now it's up to David. So David, reflections, sir, win reflection. But while we're getting on that, Stu, one of the big things that a lot of people have kind of talked about, in addition to reflections, right? And I'm trying to think the best way to word it, I guess, is, and it's a question internally that I've kind of had as well, and I've seen it in Telegram, is what I'm referring to by I've seen people asking about it, is our staking process that we've been doing through Blockstar. Pros and cons. Some people have been asking, what are the pros to us staking? How do we stake? Why should we stake? And I know you had a really big part into wanting people to understand that staking is a positive thing. So do you want to speak on that just a couple minutes as to the staking process and where we've been going with that?
yeah, absolutely. So the staking process as a whole, currently, obviously that went live at launch. Currently running at there's a 6-month lockup period within Blockstar, and so just so for future reference, once we see how the activity that's in there, we're going to adjust and dial that down most likely. But again, unfortunately, with that, the APRs and APYs get adjusted. So really, the pros and cons of staking is, if the cons currently in the staking process is that you don't receive reflections that David is trying to hold over everyone's head. The pros are really being able to lock in your asset accrual and APR. So from those people that say, I know exactly how much I'm going to, I don't know what volume is going to do. Volume goes up, volume goes down. It happens, but staking that APR is going to lock that in and going to continuously earn, and it is auto compounded technically, earn more Ember tokens. So if you're looking to accrue, that's the fashion of a lot of the people, especially from a traditional staking, traditional finance background, of being able to how to accrue more assets. That is single asset staking is going to be the most direct. You drop in, we run on our current 8% APY for that 6-month term, come back out, and we have more Ember in wallet. That's really at the end of the day, the most basic single asset in, single asset out. Reflections, you're at the mercy of volume on the chart, and that's really what it's coming down to. So personally, I know a lot of people held off expecting the initial wave of volume in, which did happen. We talked about that first run of reflections. Hopefully nobody missed that. And I don't think we had anybody in staking from there, because I think the number was somewhere around 1.7% of your holdings you received in reflections, which is not a small amount for people who were able to get in the ground floor and roll from there. So that a lot of times when we talk about that, a lot of people would like 50-50 just to be able to split. Reflections are always nice. You're so early. There's no real bad decision here. I'm just going to be pretty open with that. But now that we're past that post-launch run up of that volume really coming in, and when you're the lower amount of holders, that's the huge opportunity there. Depends on the week. I know because sometimes you want to be able to lock that thing up, see you in 6 months, and life is good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, it's almost a no-brainer when you get to that point. It's, hey, this is where I want to be. This is what I'm going to hold, and you just kind of move from there and just kind of let it roll. And it's honestly, it's nice to see it. It's a really fantastic way to go forward and to look at almost a safe bet is kind of what I'm getting at there. It's nice to have security like that in an area that doesn't typically maintain that secure feeling. Is I guess the best way that I can kind of put it right now. So we have a lot of opportunity to make this token what we've all wanted it to be from the very, very beginning. And one of the biggest things with that is our utility, which is one, recovery, right? Obviously, we want to be able to help people from the initial project of where most of us got our start, and also be looking into further down the road, any future projects that get rugged, things like that. It's how can we help the space, and how can we ensure that people understand that not every project in this space is bad. So, Matt, I want to come to you a little bit about future utility and developmental updates as to what we can see not only from Ember Token, but Ember Agency as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, a big part of what's going to drive the token is Ember Agency. And it's something we don't really tie into a lot. We don't talk about a lot just because like the coin's just getting started and we haven't had a chance to really dive in, right? We're still marketing and getting the word out. But Ember Agency is a registered LLC out of Wyoming. We are completely legit. We have advisory, we've got attorneys, we've got an LLC. I've got the paperwork right here with the tax ID number on it. Everything is set up. And why that agency is so important is that John and myself, we saw a gap in what was available here of, there's a lot of projects out there, both crypto and not crypto related, that need good design and good dev work and good marketing. And like, right, there's tons of agencies, there's tons of work for agencies. So we decided to create Ember Agency as a way of kind of bridging that gap between blockchain and everything else in the world, right? Web3 is the next big thing. That is where this is going. This is the new .com. Like that was only 30 years ago that the internet really started to take off, and look where we are now. This is that next thing. No doubt in my mind. So we're posing ourselves in such a way that we are here to help any blockchain product, any crypto coin, any regular business that is interested in Web3, blockchain technologies, what the future holds, how to bridge that gap and bring them together. Let us help you. We've done this stuff. We've been here. JR and I have 20 years experience each on our respective fields. We've got other people on our team that are the same, if not more than that. And just the past week or so, just thinking about how we can be marketing Ember Token, we've come up with a slew of ideas of how we can help other businesses get into this space, and not only driving their business, but driving Ember Agency. And how that all ties back together into the token and why it's important for the token is 25% of everything that Ember Agency brings in. We're using that to do our consultonomics, which is a word that JR made up. And we're doing corporate buybacks of Ember Token. And of that, a portion goes to a rewards pool, which gets paid out to our NFT holders. And on the other side, that doesn't go to the rewards pool, that's still a pretty good buy pressure. Because anytime that we have, gigs coming in that we're getting paid for, a portion of those proceeds is going to buy Ember tokens. So it's constantly going to be going up. Even if everybody just sits and does nothing and the chart just stays like this, you know, John and I are still out there working. We're still hustling. We're still bringing on these other contracts. We've got a lot of future work lined up that we're still in the works of or still working on. Even if nobody else buys another Ember token, we're going to be doing our own buybacks into it, which is going to make it kind of go up. So really, buy it, set it, forget it, come back in a year, 5 years, 10 years. You know, this is going to be the kind of project that you want to not fool around with, right? Like you put it in, you don't touch it, you come back later. If you want to try and be a day trader on Ember tokens back, like by all means, you're braver than I am. But if you can figure it out, go for it. Yeah, so that's how I see Ember Agency and Ember Token working so well together, and why I think this is such a huge opportunity.
Bob's going to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say, I was literally just gonna say, hey, JR, do you have anything you want to add to that? So by all means, man.
Yeah. It was funny because we've had some really cool conversations with some potential future partners. One of those is Chris from DeFi Skeptic. He, like us, is looking to better the space, and was offering a lot of insight and feedback. And he's like, I get that you guys have the agency background, but I think you're going to find a lot of people in the space just don't have that budget. Like they don't. You guys are good and you're very experienced, but I don't know how much you're going to get out of that. And I said, okay, fair assessment, right? People can get cheap marketing, they can get a cheap logo made, they can have cheap development made, and that, you can use your imagination where that can get you. That aside, I went back to him and I said, here's the thing. I'm not looking to necessarily market to other coins that just need help. I want to use our talents, our experience, our network to bridge that gap again. I'm going back to the outreach, the outward marketing effort of Ember to reach businesses, brick and mortar, online retailers, doesn't matter. To leverage our creativity, our development, our advisory, our governance, everything that they need to be able to start to stick their toe in the pond of crypto and DeFi. I really don't want to give a lot away on this AMA, but if you can envision creating NFT lines for brick and mortar businesses that sell product or sell consumables, and how you can leverage that as a tool. And it's a tool that brings that consumer back over and over because they're getting something out of it. Brick and mortar and retail in theory, is dying because of places like Amazon and eBay and things like that. It's been that way for a while. What a unique opportunity for an agency like us. Our coin aside, we're going to keep supporting it, keep growing it. You guys can count on that. You've seen what we've done in this last week. It's literally just the beginning. While that's on some degree of autopilot with a ton of creative, outside marketing influence from promoters and from some of our sponsorship opportunities, that's all going to be going nuts sooner than you think. You'll find out later next week. I'll put that teaser out there. But beyond that, I think there's such a big opportunity to drive the value of DeFi into brick and mortar non-DeFi businesses, and have them see that gap, and show them through pitch decks and face-to-face meetings, video meetings, and saying, look, this is a big opportunity to capture an audience you guys haven't reached out to. And I think you'll find if you take a step into the space, let us guide you and advise you into that space, you'll reach a demographic that's gonna love you, because you're emboldened to step over that line, whereas other retailers, other online businesses, other small businesses are like, I don't understand it. Rightfully so, but that's why we exist. We want to help you understand it, and that's where we really come into play. So where we may not be pushing UX UI strategy and brand marketing and six-figure contracts with big coins out there to support them, we'd love to. Don't get me wrong, we'd love to. If that's not the market that is going to get the best value out of our team and our services and our company, then let's bring outsiders in. And I think that's a really strong play for us.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And one thing I want to kind of shift focus for a second. Stu, I'm going to be coming to you, potentially also to Matt as well here. But there was a question that Space Buns put in here that I didn't want to skip over because it was coming from the community over in TG. So a lot of the times, brand new people coming into the project aren't fully understanding how they can go and buy Ember. Besides Telegram, do we have another outlet that we're looking to put somewhere? Hey, this is how you swap Ember or swap for Ember. Or are we simply going to continue to promote in Telegram how to do it? Obviously, we have Ember Swap. You can go directly over to swap.embertoken.io and you can swap directly there. You just connect your wallet. Here's how much BNB. Here's how much Ember you get, and it is done. It is very fast, very simple. Again, that's swap.embertoken.io. That is our Ember Swap. You can also go over to Blockstar and you can do it there as well. So we have two different ways to do it. I think a lot of the issue we were having originally was the compatibility with the iOS system and everything. And I know Stu and Dima and Matt, you guys were dealing with that. So if either of you want to go ahead and touch on that a little bit, Stu, I'll go to you first and then over to Matt if we need.
Yeah, just from a technical support perspective, we were really trying to feed everybody to TG because that was the one true source of information. We didn't want to start reaching out on Discord and have people searching old information because it was changing hourly, obviously. So I know from an ongoing support and notification perspective, definitely looking to build out the Discord platform as well, because I know that a lot of the members here from an informational support perspective. Definitely want to push that. I'm not going to put David Hunter on the spot as well because obviously from Blockstar and the Ember Swap, also the router being updated within Bogged Finance because I know we've shared that chart will be viable on the Bog chart. So once that router gets updated, that will happen there. I don't want to speak for Matt too much on the technical side with some of the iPhone issues, so I'm going to pass that to him because I don't want one misspeak, and I don't want to, say the words that are coming out of his mouth. That's I don't want to step on that one, so I'm going to hand that one over to you, Matt.
I mean, I would just hand it off to Crypto Batman, and he could probably say the words way better than I could. But let's just say there's been some speed bumps along the way, but that's to be expected. And if that's the worst that we hit, whatever. If you're on Trust Wallet, I'm sorry. MetaMask has worked fine since day one. Trust Wallet, for whatever reason, it's like whack-a-mole. We fix a bug here, another one pops up over here. We fix a bug here, another one pops up over here. We thought it was an iPhone issue, and then we've got people on Samsung Galaxies and Androids, like all these having the same problem. So it's constantly going through it. I spent the better part of today looking through about 3,000 lines of code line by line. And I think we've about got it. And I'm waiting on my good friend, Mr. Hunter, to help me get it over that last little bit, and then we should be good. And I swear, if Trust Wallet freaking breaks again, I'm gonna throw a computer out a window.
Just tell them to clear their cache, bud. They'll be good.
Did you try turning it off and on again?
Turn it off and turn it back on. And for the love of
Did you try
God,
buying a new phone and getting a new wallet? Because that will work.
Before David loses his mind, clear your cache and you'll be fine. You'll be totally good. All you have to do is clear your cache.
Just eat all the cookies and it'll be fine. Now delete the cookies.
Yes.
Clear the cookies.
Eat all the cookies.
Eat the cookies.
I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat
that's
all the
what
cookies.
I do. That's how it takes care of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are a couple different things to fix that. And again, guys, please, if you are new and you're looking to buy, swap.embertoken.io, also available on the Blockstar Swap as well. So you can get over to Blockstar, you can get over to Ember Swap, and either one of those. Very, very simple process now. Very easy to do, very straightforward. Win Cookie, JR, Win Cookie NFT. We want a cookie.
Oh, is it?
We want a cookie, Ember.
Is that being requested in chat? I'm sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I apologize.
We should do an iPhone, Android battling NFT.
Yeah, it's just Rico, so it's not important. It's fine. He always wants cookies.
I have a massive list. I will not share all of it, but I will give you guys. I'll pick some off of here and randomize them. So there's a few key players that are probably watching right now that I've had some personal requests from. One of my next ones is going to be a diamond one. I'm only doing one, and that one is already kind of pre locked, if you will. I'm finishing up a dynamite right now. I like it. I want to polish it up a little bit more, but we're getting there. One of my favorite ones I'm actually really excited about doing is like an ocean, like almost like a fishbowl. So I'm going to make the outside glass. It'll be kind of 3D, isometric almost. And we'll have, nice bright turquoise water, some waves crashing, maybe a funny little MB fish in there or something. I don't know. And it'll look kind of like a fishbowl. We've obviously got holidays coming up. So I'm thinking about doing a limited edition pumpkin one. I don't know. I know some of you, wink, wink, space buns, Jessica are into Halloween, so
I was thinking MB and friends going trick or treating in different costumes.
oh my gosh, I love it. It was actually requested to by Rico to put him in a like super based like white ghost outfit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Just
And I was like, how
basic.
super simple and like the OG style. But like I figured, okay, he's an Ember. Maybe it's like keeps burning up. I don't know. So I've got to come up with some concepts there. That's MB. Back on like really the detailed NFT side.
Yeah.
I've got I know I got a Batman one I got to do for a special person. I'm gonna do the Joker, and I'll give you like 3 more way down my list. And keep in mind, my again, I know I brag about them. My twin 12-year-old daughters came up with like 50 to 60% of these, and huge fist bump to my little ladies for their creativity. It meant a lot to them knowing that was being applied in the business. And so that's awesome. Let's see. Let's find a good one. Go ahead.
Streamer MB. Just saying.
Yes, that's actually on the list. I just there's a lot of like guaranteed ones, right? There's ones that are just kind of like, I'm gonna do it, right? I want to do one for every person on our team, which is now including our mods, which we treat no differently than our internal team. They are in our, they're in our project management software daily. They're on our calls every morning. We have a 9:30 call Eastern time that we do with to go through things. So we want to reward them. I've got about 20 right there that I've got to work through. So we love doing gifts and giving good things away. So I'll get to those. But I thought a Stranger Things / Upside Down one might be kind of cool. Divide the Ember in half. Have like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scene that I could do without infringing on copyrights, obviously. So any Stranger Things fans out there,
JR, you should do one that's based off of like the campfire Ember picture I sent you last night.
Oh, that's
How cool
cool.
would that be?
That
Like
would be cool. An ember with embers in it. Like, I mean, just smoking. There you go. I like it. See, my list keeps growing. Like, I know a lot of you guys are waiting. I think I've had over a dozen actually, which is very humbling. These things obviously do take time. I don't want to make this all about me, but I do want to let you know that it's on my list starting later this week to begin illustrating these NFTs for the first 30 days after launch. I'm contributing 20% of every NFT back into the reward pool. Matt and I talked about that. That ratio is going to change for your benefit, the more that I can produce and the more that we grow. So month 2, I'm hoping to do like a 70-30 split. Month 3, a 60-40. And then hopefully after that, we're in a position where we can maybe do a 50-50. There's no guarantees. I don't want to put it out there too much, but I want you guys to see.
You heard it here first, folks. He said it live.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
He said it 100%.
So no, we want to give back. You guys have been awesome to support our project, and want you to see the reward of your trust and your investment into a lot of creativity for myself and a lot of others that support me on the team. So thank you for that. But yeah, cookies and cakes are on their way.
Cake?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lots of cake.
All the cake.
What about hot dogs?
Now, one thing, no hot dogs, no glizzies. But if you really, really want, I believe we're looking at a canned chicken one just for you, Batman. So
I didn't want to spoil it, but I'm actually going to draw a cake.
Desensitized. I'm so desensitized by that at this point. You can't. Sorry, Crash.
Oh.
I'll take an MB arm though.
But seriously, one thing that we do need to discuss, because I expect chat to go wild here in a second when I mention this. because it's not something we've brought up on stream yet. And I know it's something that we were waiting for, and I know it's something, JR, that you and your team with Take 4 under Ember Agency are getting ready and starting to begin the process of. But the back end of it, and we know Matt does a very great job here getting these things together, is Win Merch website. And I know that's not in the immediate future, but I know that's something that we'll be looking at down the road. So do we have an estimate? And granted, chat, this is a very broad estimate, but in the future, roughly, what quarter could we maybe be looking at? You know, fourth quarter, obviously fourth quarter, as we're getting into that starting in October, that'd be fourth quarter of this year, first quarter next year. What general time frame do you think we'd be looking at getting the merge out and available for purchase on a website?
Awesome. So good news is all the back end work, pretty much the planning, cost analysis, reviewing with our print partner that's going to do that, looking at the cost of our product and trying to find that perfect price point. All that kind of back office stuff has pretty much been done. Mock-ups and visual representations of what we're going to bring until we really start producing them. Those have been done. Sample orders for products that we are either overseeing that may not be produced directly in-house are underway first thing next week. So a lot of the back end is already being done. Next on my list, actually outside of just our core marketing efforts, planning some local events, planning our field trip next Thursday, is actually putting together the shopping cart page. So I'm hoping to deliver that to Matt by this week, midweek. Wednesday, somewhere around there. And that's going to be a page that has a nice filtered grid view that shows all the products that we're going to bring to the table. That list, that list includes t-shirts, headwear, tumblers, stickers, and a lot more coming. So we have a lot of really cool stuff coming down the line, and just everything from the core Ember logo to the ability down the road to be able to order custom NFT printed stuff or NFT themed stuff we can do, and then and that's going to expand far beyond the first 5 to 10 products we're to come out with. So we want to hit the easy stuff first, stuff we have control over, and I think at some point it's going to grow way far beyond that, and can't let too much out of the bag, but I think that's something when the time's right, we'll tell you. Matt's timing on dev, he is super busy. I don't want to rush him, but I plan on having a prototype of our shopping experience over to you guys by Wednesday this week. So I'll tease it out in chat.
So that being said, guys, what we're breaking that down into is shooting for fourth quarter 22, but potentially looking at first quarter 23 with a full ready to go 100% merch website there for you guys for Ember merch. And obviously, we know we all want it. We know everybody wants it. I want it. We want it out there. We want you guys to be able to, represent the brand that you truly believe in. But at the end of the day, obviously the core of the work has to go into furthering the token, furthering our promotions and marketing, and making sure that we are still safe and secure as we continue to grow. So obviously, we don't want to say it is on the back burner, but it is on a low burner at the moment. But I did want to touch on that because I have seen people asking about merch. So that's just something that I did want to bring up and discuss. Now, Batman, I did hear from you that you have a little bit more clarification on that video question on the swapping. Is that something that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, sorry, just real quick. I found out after the fact that the way we answered the question didn't answer the question. So in Telegram, we have a few how-tos on how to swap using MetaMask and Trust Wallet that our awesome Dima came up with. He did a whole screen share, like super professional, like it's amazing. And so we can definitely pull those over into YouTube on our Ember Agency channel, so that anybody can access that from wherever. They don't have to be in Telegram, and then that way it will allow all of you to share it with a friend if they're having trouble. You can say, hey, just go watch this how-to real quick. It'll show you, where to go, how to buy Ember, how to set up, and I think we could probably do it for Dima if you're listening, how to set up a wallet, in your spare time when you're not being an awesome mod. Yeah, so that just want to make sure I got that taken care of. Sorry, I didn't get the context earlier.
Perfect. Now, one thing we need to address, our fantastic social media team has done a giveaway from our Twitter and Instagram for an Ember t-shirt. And we have our winner, and it is Kath out of Telegram. So congratulations to Kath. Kath, make sure that you get your information over to our social team. They will get in touch with you. So get that information. And Kath, you have officially won the first ever giveaway for an Ember t-shirt. So congratulations. No. It wasn't David. We pulled David, but for some reason it fell into the shredder. I don't know what happened with that one. Sorry, bud. But yes, Kath, congratulations. You have won the Ember t-shirt giveaway. So we'll be getting that out to you. Now, JR and Matt, another thing that we want to talk about coming up in the future here is Ember events. I'm very excited on these because every time we start talking about different events that we're going to do and different opportunities for people to, interact with the team or interact with Ember, it's always a good time. So, John, if you want to start off a little bit, or Matt, either one of you here, talk a little bit about what's coming up in the future for events around Ember.
Yeah, I could jump in. So, and I do realize that I have like mad glare behind me. So some of my friends were like, "Got a bright glare behind you." So I figured I'd pull our chart up. So if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking on camera. So event wise, again, I'm a broken record. Commitment to getting out there and getting crypto in the real world. I've got some good friends that have either owners of restaurants or are high up enough where we can go and rent out a section of that. So all my local friends, all Matt's, everybody that lives local to us, which is a big part of the team, honestly. It's sad that we can't get our whole team here because they're literally all over the world, different time zones. It's incredible, but we are doing a local event in the next 3 weeks, and we hope to help introduce some new people to crypto at that point. If they want to come out, we're renting out a whole patio and going to do kind of a more intimate dinner, social, have drinks, catered type of thing. And we're looking forward to that. And so there's a lot of people who've supported us that are obviously personal friends, family, etc., that are local. And we hope that that's a chance that you can come out and come hang with us. We will have some product and things like that up for sale, our t-shirts and some giveaways and stuff, I'm sure. But we want to do these as we grow. I think once we really show some steady growth, hopefully throughout the rest of this year and far beyond, we can start planning events that aren't just native to Atlanta, where we're from. We can start planning regional, meetups. And my wife even had mentioned, she was like, "Gosh, it'd be so cool if you could just find a determine a centralized place." I know one of those places because I'm sure the famous David Hunter's watching. One of those places is going to be likely Middle America region. He's got a really cool convention, I believe, next year, and so it's going to be a great opportunity for us to go out and support Blockstar, who's a part of our advisory team. And beyond that, I think it's let's throw in the community and figure out if we want to do a big, huge, crypto meetup or a getaway. I don't know. I'm totally down for ideas, but events are going to continue to happen. I think, for now we're going to keep it pretty intimate, but we do hope to hear some feedback from the community. Let us know if that's something, in your neck of the woods, stateside for right now, that you'd like to do. Love to hear you.
All right. So sorry guys. I know you saw me looking down. I'm talking with our social management team, and Kath has very graciously given up her spot for the t-shirt. She said it just kind of didn't feel right being on the moderator team, and she wants it to go to a member of the community. So we have done the redraw. Twin 77, congratulations. Big shout out to Twin. Twin is going to be the winner. So make sure you reach out to somebody from the social team. They'll look out to you probably on Twitter here soon, or Twitter, Jesus, excuse me, on Telegram. They'll get your information and make sure that we get that over to you. So congrats, Twin. You'll be receiving that Ember t-shirt. So way to go. With that, I want to take a minute and just say congratulations. And not just to the team here, but to the entire community. Because week one has been just a phenomenal experience. I mean, everything that we've wanted to do, everything that we set out to do from the very, very beginning has now come to fruition, and it only goes up from here. You know, to the entire community believing in this monster of a project that Matt and JR took on, you know, it doesn't go unnoticed. The amount of support behind the team has been incredible. And we would not be here in this position sitting here today looking to our future without what you guys did in the past 4, 5, 6 months, continuing to believe, continuing to push us forward, continuing to give us the motivation to continue to drive and better everyone. So thank you guys. And it has been a just absolutely phenomenal week one. That's what I have on week one. Stu, for you, sir, any wrap ups on your week one experience?
Now I'm unmuted.
There you go.
Having been around it, through it, things like that, the problems that came up, if any launch just goes, something's terribly wrong. If nothing bad happens, if there are no bumps, that's terrifying. All in all, with the pivot on the on the repair, because some of the people were just so eager to get in and buy. That with that repair, and then the purchasing issues just being the web issues, all in all, the success of the coin as a whole is pretty phenomenal. Again, I know John talks about it all the time. I know Matt talks about it all the time. So I don't rarely. The amount of crap that this community has been through, especially the people that were involved in pre-sale and then they were loading up day one. The amount of crap that this community's been through, it really goes to show like that's why this chart is so stable and so healthy currently. The 1 week down, I mean, when you're talking about technical issues of the small stuff, I mean that's a huge win for what was really accomplished over the last 5 months.
Yeah,
I
I
believe that
mean,
was
5, 6 months. I mean, you're looking at 5, 6 months
huge.
for the community, over a year for the core team, and some that were from the very beginning of the other projects. And yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah. Now we actually get to look forward at the future stuff, which is awesome. It's not just trying to get launched. We are launched, we are live, and now it's all the hypothetical stuff that we actually get to implement now,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Yeah. From a personal side of things, if y'all want a little behind the scenes here, Stu was trying to keep me sane during the first 24 to 48 hours of launch. He would keep DMing me, "Are you calm yet?" Nope, still not. The PTSD of it all was, oh my god, could this still go wrong? Like, I was freaking out, and I finally sat down. I think it was Monday afternoon or Monday evening. Stu was like, "How about now?" I was like, "Okay, I can finally breathe. We're good." And it just, all the stress, all the worry just subsided, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. So Matt, thoughts from week one, sir?
Man, I think I already hit it early on. Blown away by the community. It's freaking amazing. It's fantastic. Out of the whole week, 3 out of 7 days, I was away from my keyboard for most of the day, and the token did fine. The team did fine. The community did fine. The chart did fine. You know, at the last thing, John and I, if we weren't doing something every single minute, like nothing was moving. So to be able to like still be able to live my life and breathe and not have to be glued to my computer and everything work is such an awesome feeling. So, and that doesn't happen without everybody. So yeah, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's been fantastic, and I look forward to the following weeks, months, and years to come.
Fantastic. JR, as always, closing statements, thoughts on the week, my man.
Well, I think the bright minds uh, this AMA said it great. I think uh, the proof is in the pudding. As I stare at our charts and I look at our growth and our holder count, we're still very small in the grand scheme of things, but if we feel really big. And I want to shout out to it would take me all night. It would take me all night for the amount of hands and minds and hearts behind the scenes. Um, friends, family, our mods. I mean, you guys made this week happen. And even today, they said uh, they've been rolling, like Matt said. Everybody's just rolling. They're owning their stuff that they've signed up to do, like out of pure generosity and belief in what we're trying to build together. No matter what you may hear out there, given the history that we came from, the holders in this group and are the same people that got us here. And to you, I want to say thank you on behalf of my family, my friends, my team, everybody. I mean, it's incredible. But today, I I realize I got to get out of a habit of apologizing to the team. Behind the scenes, little behind the scenes for me is I have a knack of going in and saying, guys, sorry, I've been out of the loop, and I'm like, "God, I've always been the loop, right? I've never been able to be out of it. Like Matt said, like I've always been the loop. Matt was always the loop, and to put the trust, given the circumstances we came from, to put that level of trust in, you know, virtual friends and community members and team that's spent less than 10 hours physically together in the hands of speed. It just shows how much trust is here, right? And Matt and I have put in, and they've put in us. So it's reciprocated. It's cyclical, and I can't stress that enough. So if any of you guys are new to watching this, if you got that last minute invite, if you saw our social media and you joined, I just ask that you jump in our Telegram, uh, jump into our social media. We're active. We want to get to know you. We want to answer any questions we have and show you the benefits of listening to our advisors and listening, to your instincts too. If something feels good, jump in. And that goes for our coin or anybody else. We're very agnostic in that aspect. Just know that this space is filled and can be filled with goodness, and that goodness came from this community this week. So thank you for in a downward market, in a bear market, for giving us a chance, to have a chart that just stands out on its own. That's marketable trust. That's marketable growth. And you guys should pat yourselves on the back. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. Guys, again, on behalf of the team that is here on AMAs and the rest of our social media marketing mod team that is diligently working behind the scenes to keep Ember going, we truly do thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you soon.